So we're here at the International Firewood Expo today, and one of the pieces of equipment that caught my eye was this little processor from Hahn. And I'm here with Kelly from Hahn. He's going to give us a walk around of the machine, talk about its features, and we'll see it run. But I'm sharing this with you guys because I've done reviews of several processors at this point over the last couple years, starting with a small Halverson. We looked at the little Beaver 14. I rented the Dyna, and so on. There's been a handful of them, and this one fits right in that small processor lineup. But Kelly's going to tell us that it probably outperforms some of the other small machines. So let's take a look.
Well, of course it does. Yeah, this is the Hahn Mini Pro 250B, and the Mini Pro, obviously it's a small machine, but it has really got the build quality for a professional firewood producer. We call it the 250B. The 250 stands for 25 horsepower. It comes standard with a Honda 25 horse fuel injected motor. The B stands for bar saw. At this point, that's all we do. You never know, maybe we'll come out with a C at some point. But
so what size bar is on this machine?
It is I don't remember the actual size, but it is a 20-inch cut capacity.
20-inch cut.
Maximum diameter. Yes.
Well, that's pretty big wood for a small machine.
It is, and I tell people, if you're doing 18 to 20 inch all day long, if that's what you get, it's probably not the right, you know what I mean? It'll do it. But if you've got between 8 and 14 or even 16, it runs through that great. But if you get the occasional 18 or 20, you can do it.
Yeah. So you mentioned it's got a Honda engine, and looks like electric start, of course, on the engine on that size.
It is fuel injected, and if you notice, there's no controls here to start it. Okay. Because we actually, as a standard feature, we run the controls, the start and the throttle up to the controls.
That's very nice. Very convenient. Yeah.
Oil cooler is standard equipment. Trying to think what else to see on this side. Not a whole heck of a lot.
So where's your oil? Is it
bar oil is right here.
Okay. So not a gravity feed, obviously, if it's all the way down there.
Correct. It is a hydraulic. Every time you run the saw, it gives it a squirt of oil.
Yeah. Great. Fuel capacity?
6, I believe this is.
Yeah. Do you know about what the output is in terms of like quarts per gallon or run time or something like that?
I want to say it's a little over a gallon an hour.
Okay.
So
sounds about right.
Yeah, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I guess moving around here, you've got your wedge holder for your extra wedge. Okay. Adjustable hitch here for your different height. Vehicles.
Standard 2 5/8 inch ball there. You could.
Well, this is 2, but we can put whatever you want. Pintle hitch, whatever you want, we'll put on there.
Okay. So what's this machine weigh? Could you tow it with a regular half-ton pickup?
Yep, it's about 4,600 pounds as you see it with the live deck and the conveyor.
Oh, nice. Yep. Okay.
And I guess moving around here, obviously 2-strand live deck.
So actual chain drive live deck.
Yes.
I've seen some other smaller, cheaper units. They have something, they just call it a dead deck or something, where it's like you've got to roll the logs on yourself. This is actually powered.
It is powered not only to move the logs in and out, but it's also hydraulic raise and lower.
To fold it up and go down the road.
Exactly, that's standard equipment. Yep. Yeah. So obviously this is the control panel. We did modify this recently. It used to be on an arm and it swiveled, and we found that most people weren't swiveling it and it didn't get used. So what we decided to do was to fill this in. Gives it a little more protection down on the hoses from the pieces of firewood, but it also gives you somewhat of a resplit tray, so you can set your stuff here and while you're throwing it back in to resplit it. So kind of a double use there. And then it slides in for transport. You can slide these controls in to make it narrower.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah.
Right here?
Yep, right here, exactly. And comes standard with the hydraulic adjustable wedge. One of the real benefits of this machine over most of the other small US-made machines is it has the positive log stop and the tip tray there. And they are automated. So every time you move that log in, that tray comes up. Okay. It comes in till it hits the positive stop. And then as soon as you cycle your saw down, that stop moves back 3/4 of an inch, so it doesn't bind.
So it doesn't pinch. Yeah.
Yep. And then as soon as you hit your saw back up, that tip tray then drops the piece in.
Yeah. So I rented earlier this year a Dyna processor, and that was my biggest gripe on that machine, is it didn't have a positive stop. And I have all this wood from 14 to 19 inches, and I'm like, I wish it was 16.
Yep. Yeah, you can get to 16, but you're hunting. You're going fast, and you're back, and here it's boom, and you know, they talk a lot about cycle times and things, and of course cycle time's important, but that is one of the most important things to getting accurate and accuracy and speed.
Well, and in my opinion, it's one of the biggest things for getting more revenue per cord out of your firewood.
Absolutely.
The more consistent product, the higher quality product.
Absolutely.
And I would much rather produce a quality product slower than a bad product fast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nope, agree, 100%. It's nice because it does give you that easy access for resplitting. You do have a little bit of a tray, you know, so it and it's low. It's easy to reach in.
Yeah. And now I see a 4-way wedge, and do you make a 6 or other?
Yes. As a matter of fact, every machine that we have sold to this point has gone with a 4 and a 6.
Okay.
We just didn't have it ready for the show, so.
Yeah.
And there's a wedge holder up on the front, also standard, so you can put the. And we are making an 8. We have not made one yet, but we will most likely be offering an 8.
Yeah. And I think you mentioned the conveyor standard, and does it swing in addition to raise and lower?
It does. It hydraulically raises and lowers and hydraulically pivots left to right.
Yeah.
And we set it up so that it will swing enough to, for the most part, fill a dump trailer.
Yeah.
Or you can hit 3 bags or 3 totes in a row. And it's about 15 degrees each direction.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. And then I guess one other big thing that I should mention on our latest machines, and it's hard to see, but if you look down underneath there, you see that black cylinder?
Yeah.
That's a hydraulic accumulator. And what that hydraulic accumulator is doing is that is returning the ram. So there's about 200 psi of pressure on there. So when you're splitting, it's creating that pressure, and then when you return it, that's what's returning. So we can put all of our oil to the saw by returning the ram with that accumulator.
Okay.
And what we're really trying to do is just to get the absolute most performance out of a 25 horse motor that we can, and that allows us to again, return while cutting and not pulling oil from the saw.
Right.
Another thing we do is we use pilot controls here, and we're able to run the fluid that runs the saw very direct out of the pump right to the valve by it and up to the saw, so it doesn't have to come and make that circle. Again, getting every bit of power we can out of that 25 horse motor.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. So it sounds like some kind of innovative ideas and some good engineering went into this, and definitely have some features that make this, I think, stand out compared to some of the other American-made machines, especially.
And that was the idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Incorporated a lot of the stuff you see on the European or the imported ones.
Right.
And even some on some of the bigger U.S.-made machines.
Right.
But just not much on the smaller ones.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm excited to see it run.
Well, let's do it.
Yeah.
Cody.
I gotta run one more in there.
Kelly, thanks for showing us the machine. Certainly an innovative product in a small package, which is, I know, really attractive to a lot of people. And, and what'd you say the weight was?
It's about 4,600 pounds.
So easily towable by even like an SUV.
Oh,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I know a lot of processors and other equipment, you're limited by your trucks. And I've experienced that in the past myself, but this is nice small package and very capable machine. So thanks for your time, appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for coming in and checking us out. We really appreciate it, and feel free to stick around.